I feel paralyzed.
Alright guys, it has been a while, Warlords is out, and now I want to discuss how this patch out of PvE, because PvP right now is still very, very broken. I have been PvPing, it is still, as fun as it could be, but it's just, there's something wrong with it, and I'm interested to see how it is with full gear. Right now honor gear is kind of bleh. So anyway, this video will be, I don't know, about 10 minutes long. I want to discuss talents, especially that last row, and kind of the rotation I've been using. So, Plague Bearer is the one I picked. Plague Leech might be a little more effective DPS, but Plague Bearer, no extra buttons, your diseases just never fall off, and combined with Necrotic Plague, Plague Bearer is very nice. Outbreak will always, always, always be off cooldown by the time you need to reapply them, at least I hope. Lichborn, I've been using for PvP, but for PvE, I'd probably go anti-magic zone. Magic zone, it's good for the raid. It's weak, but pretty much everything is right now, so don't really know what to tell you about that. Now, Death's Advance is probably what you should be using for general PvE, but Asphyxiate is still really nice, almost simply because it's a free stun, and when you have a tank that's pulling stuff, nobody's interrupting stuff. It's really nice to at least have 5 or 6 seconds where that random ad isn't spamming heal, 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 and your whole raid group is like, or dungeon group is like, what the hell's going on, guys? Now, Blood Tap I used to be huge, huge supporter of, and now I don't even feel like I need the death runes. And that's the same reason Runic Empowerment is good, but I don't need the death runes. I don't like having Runic Empowerment proc when I don't have something 100% on cooldown, and that's pretty much that. But Runic Corruption, as far as I can tell, has been simming approximately the best, although it doesn't seem to matter all that much, and it's really easy to use. You're using abilities that cost Runic Power, boom, Runic Corruption procs, your runes come back very fast. It is definitely the best for Necrotic Plague build, but I argue that it's the best for anything simply because it's so easy. Death Pact is probably a choice for PvP, PvE. Death Siphon I was using for PvP, it's just kind of funny, but Death Pact I would argue is probably what you want for that burst heal. Death Siphon I actually do use in dungeons and stuff because I don't trust my healer, but Death Pact is what you want to use when there's massive raid damage going out and you're sitting there like shit, 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 happen. Now, Remorseless Winter is generally the choice for PvE, but I would argue Desecrated Ground is still okay. Remorseless is a lot better for trash and stuff like that, or bosses with ads that can be stunned, but Desecrated is really nice when you get into a dungeon and that healer is like, oh, I didn't know I could dispel you. So, all in all, I'd say that's your choice. I like Desecrated Ground just because when I'm running around the world I like having it. When I am, dungeoning with crappy healers I like having it. And it's just kind of nice to be able to break out of anything ever. Now, I'm going to do one rotation, minus Army, because it's just too long for me to want to wait, of Breath of Sindragosa, Defile, and Necrotic Plague. Before each one, I'll kind of give you what I think about it. Now, Breath of Sindragosa is my favorite. It's not technically the most efficient, but it is very fun. Breath of Sindragosa is basically reverse conversion. If you get stunned, Breath of Sindragosa keeps going. If you run out of Runic Power, Breath of Sindragosa stops. It is pretty simple. Now, the thing about it is when you're using it, you're going to want to have to combine it with Empower Rune Weapon, and that's extremely important because once you run out of Runic Power, Breath of Sindragosa is a useless talent. Now, the others are not that much better, but nonetheless. So, because it's kind of difficult to really talk while I do a rotation, I'm going to tell you what I do, and then I'll do it. So, generally, Outbreak, and then summon your Gargoyle, and then start spamming abilities to get Runic Power up. When the Runic Power is up pretty high, and I'm a Blood Elf, yeah I know, I use Arcane Torrent, I build that Runic Power up fast. When it's up there, that's when you want to do your Breath of Sindragosa, especially if you have trinkets that are proccing. And then, when Breath of Cinder Ghost is going, you'll have Runic Empowerment, or sorry, Runic Corruption proccing. And as Runic Corruption procs, you should be gaining back your runes pretty fast. There's going to be a point where your downtime gets too high, and you want to empower a rune weapon. It'll add 25 runic power to you, and your Breath of Cinder Ghost keeps going, and it is a lot of damage. So let me do that here real quick. Faster, faster. See, I actually let it fall off on accident. My bad. Notice when I'm using the Death Runes, I do use Sword Strike with them. It is, I mean, you should do that, but like I said, it just doesn't seem all that important to have the Death Runes. One thing to keep in mind is when you're doing this, do try to have two, one Blood and one Frost on cooldown at the same time, otherwise they come off cooldown at awkward moments, and it's really hard to work with. Alright, so that was the rotation with that. I'm just doing short rotations. So after a couple minutes, I had 12k DPS. My DPS actually would have been more like 14 or 15. Oh, sorry. My eye level is 631, and I'm not really going for great gear right now. I'm just kind of using stuff. Anyway, my oh, that was stupid. My thought on Breath of Cinder Ghost is it's very nice to have it for the times where you're bursting, and it's really nice in dungeons because burst is pretty much all you need in a dungeon. So the next thing I'm going to do is Defile. Defile is my I can't do it yet. Defile is my second favorite choice, and it's mainly because it's really easy to use. It replaces Death and Decay. The thing about Defile that I don't like is it's weird having it in your rotation as something you put down, and if the boss is about to move and you don't know, or the tank's about to move the boss, Defile does 0 damage, and that's kind of a problem. But Defile is very good, there's no arguing with that, and it's easy to use. It's just, I don't like it that much. And in Trash, it pulls massive amounts of damage. So, I'm going to skip ahead in time a few minutes after my Empowered Rune Weapon's off cooldown, and I will be right back. Alright guys, we have stepped ahead a few minutes in time. Now, when you Defile, I actually like to open with Defile to get the GCD out of the way. The way I play is I generally get a GCD out of the way and I instantly use like Outbreak or whatever it might be. So with this, it's really simple. Defile, Outbreak, get your Gargoyle out, start Festering, start Plague Striking. You just use your Death Coils as you get them. Just spam as much as you want. You're a Deathknight, that's kind of what you do. I'll go through a quick rotation. You're going to see the Defile is probably going to cleave these dummies. So don't be tricked by the AoE, but it'll still be decent damage no matter what you do. So, and I'm sorry for messing up the Cindergosa rotation, but you kind of get the idea. The DPS should, like I said, have been higher, and I do love Cindergosa, so I'm a little biased. But alright, here we go. Use those procs as soon as you can. Alright, Gargoyle is leaving. Beast Gargoyle. Alright. So you can see my DPS is considerably higher. I think that's probably about 1,000 higher than my Breath of Cindergosa would be if I didn't mess up. Also, you'll notice there was some cleave there. Actually, since they all have the same name, I didn't recognize it was cleave, but there was some there. Either way, Defile's an awesome choice. There's no arguing with that. Just because I don't like it does not mean it's not good. In fact, it's probably better than Breath of Cindergosa. I just have fun with that. Alright, so again, I'm going to subspace 3 or 4 minutes ahead, and I'll be right back. Alright guys, now we will finish with Necrotic Plague. Now, Necrotic Plague has issues. It was set to take the world by storm! I don't know if that's true, but it replaces Blood Plague and Frost Fever. It used to only replace Blood Plague, and that would have been great. Now, it replaces both. It takes about 10 stacks for the damage to start equaling out, and then 15 stacks is the max. At that point, you are getting better overall damage, but it just doesn't seem worth it. Now, the numbers will come out to be very much equal-ish, and you'll notice that in a multi-dot fight, Necrotic Plague could actually do work, but it's painful. Alright, so this is really simple. You now spam Fester a lot. Necrotic Plague will fall off. You want to spam Fester almost as much as you can. The only time you're not going to is when Necrotic Plague has, let's say, 13 seconds left, and you can Fester in 5 or 6, and you're still possibly cutting it short. The way Necrotic Plague works with Plague Bearer is I will Outbreak, and then every time I Death Coil, it'll add a stack to Necrotic Plague. You need to get those stacks as high as you can, as fast as you can. So this is really simple. Outbreak, use Summon Gargoyle, and then you attack the damn thing. It will be the simplest thing you can possibly do. Deathknight is not hard. You will never, ever hear a good Deathknight player say, "Holy shit, my class is hard." They'll probably say something along the lines of, "You should try Deathknight because it's really easy." Alright, so here we go. As you can see, it's stacking up right now. And I am willing to use the score strikes for my Death Runes now. Because there's 22, 21 seconds left, I'll have plenty of time. Alright, at this point I do have full stacks. And now I just swing, and swing, and swing. It's got 35 seconds left. You are in almost no danger of ever losing those stacks. Alright, there goes my Gargoyle. I'll attack for a little bit, just to kind of see for myself how high or low my DPS goes. It seems to be sitting at about where it is now. Like I said, there's nothing inherently wrong with using this. It's just, it's boring, and it doesn't add anything. I'm sitting at lower than I did with the file, but the file was hitting this dummy as well, so who knows if the damage would have been higher or lower. As you can see though, every time I do this, it is approximately the same. If you do not mess up Breath of Sendragosa, it will be approximately the same. So I'm going to leave this at this for now. I just want to get my opinions out there, maybe see what you guys thought. You'll see if you watch my older videos, my bars really have not changed, so Deathknight has gone through no serious renovation. We're actually recruiting for raids on Emerald Dream. You can check it out at tcgaming.co. Do not go to .com. Apparently you might get a virus, and that is not my fault. You can also check out our Facebook and Twitter, look at all our links. I'll be trying to do more videos more frequently, and since I'm going to PvE for a while, I'm probably going to do a raid or whatever, and I'll record our kills and kind of give pointers out to people who are playing Deathknight. And with that, thanks for watching.